Hi everyone, Kaary here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing great today. So today I'm back with a very special build for you guys because it is actually my build for a collab that I was lucky enough to be a part of. So yeah, today we're actually building for the Winter Wonderland collab 2. I'm gonna be writing the name of the host in the screen right now because even though this is the second time that I'm part of this collab, I still don't know how to say the name and I don't want to butcher it. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for letting me be a part of this collab. I had so much fun and I had so much fun last year as well. So if I get to find the video, I'm gonna be linking it here so you guys can watch it if you want. But a quick disclaimer, the quality of that video could be not as good as this one. But yeah, I just had so much fun with this collab because you can get to do things that you don't usually build. So the only rule that we had is that we had to build something in winter, so nothing Christmas related but in winter. So what I decided to do is to build this house here in the world of Glimmerbrook. That is the world that we got with the Roman Magic game pack. And I have never built in winter in this world before. I don't think I've ever played during winter in this world before. So it was just like a nice surprise for me to see how beautiful this world is in winter. How the snow covers everything, all the trees, how they look, all the rocks. Everything is just amazing, and the lighting, it was just perfect. So it was a perfect lot to build in. And the kind of family that I had in mind was a family of spellcasters, but more specifically I was thinking to have more like a coven instead of just a regular family. So I decorated everything for mostly female sims, so that was pretty much the idea that I had in mind, to have just female spellcasters living here. Different generations, because you have space for like one or two parents if you want. You can have space for, I think, a teenager, a kid, and also an infant, if I remember correctly. But I could be mistaken because I built this a few weeks ago, so I don't exactly remember everything that I did. But we will see it when we get to those parts in the interior. Right now you see me decorating all these towers that I decided to add to this build, and I'm using the rounded walls. And with rounded walls come the rounded walls glitches. And I did encounter some of them when I was doing the floor plan and when I was doing all the wallpapers. So yeah, I did struggle with this, but I think I make it work anyways, and I think I just managed to make it still look nice. But I didn't playtest this build, so I have no idea how it looks. I mean, how it looks, what am I saying? If it works like fully, or if there's some issues regarding the rounded walls. Hopefully there's nothing major going on and your sims can still walk properly through the like inside and everything like that. But there's only one item that concerns me a little bit when it comes to routing issues that we will mention, like we will talk about it when we get to that part. And yeah, right now we're doing we're gonna start with the landscaping. I'm pretty sure I'm decorating a little bit here of this door of the garage, because there is a garage here that I turned into a laundry room. So yeah, I decided to create like that garage door out of an archway that's from Jungle Adventure, and a debug item from base game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we're adding some tiny touches here, like the windows and some decorations here on top of these towers. And then we're gonna be moving to landscaping, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I did some landscaping before I decided to get to the interior, because that's something that I have been doing for a while now. And I mentioned it in my previous videos that I still don't know why I'm doing that, but I don't know, I just cannot I just cannot move to the interior without doing a little bit of landscaping now, and it's weird considering how much I dislike landscaping. But yeah, we're adding some tiny details here, and now we're actually gonna be moving to landscaping. And I decided to build this during the snow time, so I didn't know, I still don't know how this build looks during any other season that is not winter, because I didn't do any terrain paints, but I did try to have plants that were like evergreen plants so that they would still look alive during the winter, because there are so many trees and everything here on the surrounding of this lot that I just needed plants that were alive. We're using these lines from Cottage Living that are by no means alive, but they looked nice anyways, and so I kept that in there. And that gives me a little bit of an idea of how this would look if this build is played with in any other season that is not winter. And also, if you want to play with this in winter, or you just don't want to do any terrain paint, you can place this in Montgomery, one of the of the lots on the top of the mountain, because in that place it always snows, so you can easily place this lot in there, and then you don't have to take care about the terrain paint. But if it's not a problem for you and you still want to place it in here, you can see that this is the Creekside Corner lot. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, if I'm reading it correctly. Because in my screen it looks really small right now. But yeah, this is the debug item that I mentioned that it concerns me a little bit when it comes to routing issues, because this is a debug item from Eco Lifestyle that I have used many times before, not in other builds. And when I've used it and I've play tested it, your Sims cannot walk on top of them. So they walk around them, but they cannot walk on top of them. But because I'm adding so many debug items here, I'm not sure that your Sims can actually access the front door properly because of those items in particular. And I couldn't do the trick that I always do, in which I create a basement and then I raise the items up with the tool, with the 9 key, and then they appear in the surface. Because if I did that, there wouldn't be any snow. So yeah, I did try it just to see how it looked. It looked horrible. So I decided to keep the items here and just work with what I had. And if it's a problem, there's still a side door for your Sims to walk into the house. But yeah, hopefully there's not gonna be an issue and your Sims can still get to the front door without any issues. But yeah, we're doing a little bit more of landscaping before we move into the inside of this house. And I'm adding a well here. This is a debug item from Get Famous. It's not functional. I didn't want to add any of the functional ones that we have. I'm pretty sure we have like 2 wells that are functional, but I didn't want to add any of those because this one has a bucket and it looks a little bit more cottagey, and I just wanted to use it for decoration because I don't know how a well will work during the winter. I cannot believe I said that. It was a little bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, we're in the interior now and we're starting with the kitchen. As I said, everything here is really white and really pristine, and there's a lot of beige and light wood tones going on. So I'm using the counters and cabinets that we got with Life and Death. And this white swatch that I love so much. I'm pretty sure the countertop is like quartz or something like that. But it's amazing. It just sets the bar from what I'm going with all the interior. I just loved it so much. And I'm pretty sure the kitchen is fully functional, but there could be an issue because I built this a few weeks ago. And it was like realistically speaking, it was the first time that I did the trick with the pot that I put on top of the stove, and I add some crops inside and things like that. Yeah, some vegetables and things like that. And that item in particular could make this stove non-functional. But there's a specific burner in which you have to put the items in order for them to still be functional. I think I put it in the correct one, but I could be mistaken. And sometimes, like lately, I've been having a lot of issues when it comes to my kitchens. And I still don't know why, because I do keep all like the proper spaces for your Sims to cook. I always leave a counter empty for them to cook on. The stove and the oven, they work. I mean, I don't know why sometimes my kitchens just don't work. And it takes me forever to figure that out, because the Sims don't exactly tell you what the problem is when they have a routing issue or when they cannot access an item or use it properly. They just don't exactly tell you what's the issue. That would be great if they did. If something blocks an item, for example, if one of the items that I'm adding here on the stove blocks it, it would be great that your Sims could actually tell you, instead of having like a cross, like the red cross on the bubble in which that appears on top of your Sims. It would be great that it had, like, I don't know, the pot or the utensils thingy that I added. I don't know. But yeah, my Sims don't tell me exactly what the problem is, so I have to figure out and start moving like one by one of the items. And it takes forever for me to figure out what the issues are, and sometimes they just don't make any sense. So yeah, it's weird, but I'm pretty sure this kitchen should be fully functional, so there shouldn't be any issues with it. And you see me here adding the lid on top of the pot, and as I said, this was the first time that I did it. Like, I know you've seen it in other videos before this one, but like in real time, this was the first time that I did it, so that's why you saw me adding the incorrect lid. And then I realized there was a white one, but I didn't change it because, I mean, it took me so long to do the trick that it looked nice and everything, so I decided to keep it in there like that and not change for the white one. But yeah, we're in the dining room now. I loved it because I mixed and matched different items that I didn't know would look nice together. So I'm using the table from my wedding stories. I'm using the chairs that are at the head of the table that are from Horse Ranch, and the other chairs are from the Cozy Kitsch kit. And those 3 packs, I would have never considered putting them together. So I think the lights are also from Lovestruck, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, just having those 4 packs together in a tiny dining room as this one. I mean, this is not tiny. I mean, this is a big dining space. But just those 4 packs to create a dining room, I would have never considered doing that, because those packs couldn't be more different from one another. So yeah, it was just perfect that they work together so well. And also you see me adding some pet balls in here, because as this is a family of spellcasters, your spellcasters can actually have familiars. And in the game we have the ones that come with Realm of Magic. There are these kind of floaty creatures that you can actually select from an orb. And there's also another way to have a familiar, and that's turning your pets into one. So I was thinking that maybe most of the Sims living in here have the familiars that come with the orbs. And there's one that has a cat, and that cat is their familiar. So maybe they have a white cat that really matches with the aesthetic of this house. Or maybe they just have a regular cat, like a stray cat, or they have a black cat. I don't know. I think if I were a spellcaster, I would have a black cat, because black cats are beautiful. Or maybe a calico one, because calico cats are my favorite cats. But this house is so white that I would definitely have a white cat. And you saw me adding the crow. I don't know if you can turn the crow into a familiar, but it's the first time and the only time that I've used the crow. And that crow, we got it with Life and Death. I said it before, when, like, I think it was with my first build that I did with Life and Death. I said that the crow was just a wasted opportunity for us to get more birds. Because in The Sims 3, we have birds, and the birds work the same way as the crows in The Sims 4. So you have them stuck to the pedestal or whatever the name of that item is, and you can play with them, you can feed them, you can teach them tricks. You can do many things with the crows, with the birds. Oh no, I'm talking about The Sims 1. I'm sorry. I have The Sims 1 and The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 and I just mixed them together. But yeah, I mean The Sims 1, you have this kind of the same kind of birds that we have right now with the crows, like the version of them. And in The Sims 1, you can teach them tricks, you can play with them, you can interact them. But we have, I think, more than one type of bird. And in The Sims 3, we had more than one type of bird as well. So I think this was like the opportunity for the Sims team to give us more than just crows. So we could have had parrots or cockatoos or anything like that, like different types of birds. It would have been like a great addition to all the animals that we have in the game so far. But yeah, we just have crows. So I decided to add a crow in there just because it was like an opportunity for me to add a crow. But I have no idea if you can turn it into familiar. But yeah, we're decorating the downstairs bathroom now. I kept it in the video because I'm pretty sure I didn't keep any of the other bathrooms. And if I did, it's pretty much exactly the same. But we're decorating the garage now that I said it. I think I said it. This is, you wouldn't believe me, but this is the 5th time that I'm doing this voiceover, because the first time I had, like, my mom called me, like my mom actually sent me a message asking me for something. The second time there were dogs barking on the window. The third time my mom called me. The 4th time I sneezed. So this is the 5th time that I'm doing this voiceover. So I don't know if I said that I turned the garage into a laundry room. So yeah, you see me now that I'm adding some details here to create like a functional laundry room. And now we're moving to the 2nd floor. And this is weird, and you may not believe me when I say this, but this is the main bedroom. I know how small it is, but it's one of the bigger rooms that we have in this house because of the layout that I had and how, I don't know, not wide, like narrow this house was. This was the only way in which I could have a main bedroom, and yeah, this is it. There's not that much going on in this bedroom. There's a lot more going on in the other rooms. So yeah, this is a 3-bedroom house. Now that I remember, this is a 3-bedroom house. So you have space for 2 parents, a teenager, and an infant. Yep, I'm 100% sure that's the way that it is. So this is the main bedroom, as I said. And I am adding the many things from Life and Death, because when I built this house, we had recently gotten Life and Death. So I really wanted to use many items from that pack. Also, this is not pack restricted whatsoever. So I am using this like hourglass or something from Star Wars. But I think it's the only item that I use from that pack. And this is going to be the teens room. I am using this bed from the Pastel Pop kit. And because I'm using this wallpaper from the Decor to the Max kit, I decided to embrace a little bit of the pink. So you will see a little bit more pink in this bedroom, but it's still like a pastel pink instead of being like this bright pink that I would usually add to my bedrooms when I use pink. So yeah, this sim is a teenager, and they have a book here that, I don't know, it's a spells book or something, like a novel, like a Harry Potter kind of book, but the version that we have in The Sims. I don't know which one is it. I just don't remember. But yeah, we're just decorating the dresser here. The dresser is not gonna be accessible because there's not enough space for your Sims to walk in front of the dresser, but you don't need it. I mean, there's gonna be a mirror here as well. I think there are 2 mirrors actually in this bedroom, so your Sims technically don't need the dresser, but I just wanted to have it because it's a teenager's room, and I wanted them to have a TV, and I wanted them to have a lot of clutter on top of the dresser. And you see that I added the mirror from Werewolves that I think I've used like once or twice before, because it's a very specific mirror and I love it, but it's not so easy to use. And because we're building for spellcasters, I really wanted to embrace all the items that we got with Realm of Magic, because I almost never use them. So the dresser and also the desk are from Realm of Magic. The desk, I remember how controversial it was because it has this like blue light that it's always like shining there, and it makes not so much sense to have that in there. Also here I was trying to do a different trick. I was trying to rotate this item to just get the Polaroid on top of the bed, but then I realized that there was another item in front of it, so it was just a waste of space. So I'm using this regular camera that we got with Moschino, and there's also a wand in there, a magic wand that I decided to put on top of the bed. Because of course everyone here is a spellcaster, so there are some wands around the house, and this is a nursery, so one of the towers I turned it into the nursery, and we're using this bed. Oh, this is for a toddler, it's not for an infant. Okay, there's a toddler, but this is the bed that we got with Life and Death, and this is the first time that I'm using it, so it was so beautiful, so I decided to use it in this kind of green swatch. And I did the same that I did with the teens room, so I embraced the kind of a pastel green that we have here, and I decided to add some pops of color, but still I kept it pretty much white and beige. That was the main colors that I was using in the interior. Hopefully everything is functional here. Hopefully your infants and your adult sims can actually get to the bed properly, because I'm gonna be adding some items on the sides of the bed. So yeah, hopefully everything is just accessible, and because it's a rounded wall, it's a little bit more complicated to make everything work, but yeah, hopefully everything functions and there's no issues with your sims getting to the bed. So yeah, we're moving now to the cauldron room. So this is where your sims should work on their potions. They have a lot of things from Robo Magic, of course, and this is the tower that it's at the very back of the build. So it's a 2-story tower, I would say, but I kept it as a 1-story one because when I deleted the floor of the second tower, like the one on top of this one, it looked like this part of the build was on the outside, so the lighting turned blue and it looked just weird. So yeah, I wanted this to be like a really tall room, but it ended up not working the way that I wanted it to. And yeah, we're adding some wands here. There's an empty shelf in there because it was the one that, like the wand that we have in the teens room. So yeah, I decided to keep one of the shelves empty. And now we are working a little bit on the outside, so we're creating the steps here for your sims to get to the inside of the build through this door in case the front door doesn't work. And here I was considering doing having like a backyard and having some items for your sims to use outside, but because I was thinking that this house was supposed to be used during winter, I thought I would blend in everything with the rest of the environment. So we're using these trees from Robo Magic and just creating a little bit of a woodsy kind of exterior, so it's more of a cottage and there's nothing to do for your sims to do on the outside. I did add this tree. I ended up getting rid of it because it just looked weird. So don't worry, I'm gonna be getting rid of that. And because I forgot the litter box, here it is. So I kept it in the video and I decided to make sure that I added a litter box for the cat because I completely forgot about it. And now we're adding these lights. These floating lights that I don't know what they're supposed to be, but they come with Robo Magic. And this was kind of the idea that I envisioned when I figured how I wanted this build to look like. So yeah, you see how it looks during nighttime. And that's gonna be pretty much it. So we're actually heading to the end of the video now. So I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please remember to like this video, also comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also follow me on social media. Links are all in the description and below. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Enjoy the screenshots. Goodbye.